Welcome back to the Voice of Metal, where we talk about all things metal right now, but hopefully we will have the people behind the metal, which is far more important, I think. Well, metal music is important too, but the people behind it, that's what it counts. Just so you guys know, I just want to say thanks. Thanks for all the ones who are following and still are following. I appreciate that you haven't left yet. That means a lot to me. Um, it, whoa. Anyway, sorry, I was testing out to make sure I had sound. Um, Basically, what it boils down to, it means a lot to me to have you guys on here watching and subscribing. I do appreciate that. So anything you can do to help, I definitely greatly appreciate that. Because I would definitely want to see this happen and grow as a channel and stuff. So you know. For right now, we are going to be talking about the weirdest bands that are unbelievably weird bands that basically became really successful. Um, and a couple of these, I definitely had a feeling I was right on when I heard this is from Metal Injection. I was wanting to see what they had to say about it, so I thought, nah, I'll talk about it. And my personal stories about some of them because I actually got to see at least one of the bands. I'm pretty sure that I've seen, and the one I was thinking is going to be huge. Myself personally, basically they're weird and successful. Don't often intersect when it comes to music. Record labels want to make the money, and it doesn't come easy when you're trying to push the boundaries of rock and of metal or metal music. However, the gamble does pay off big, pushing these cults acts near unimaginable levels of success. One, and this is the one that I was talking about, I have definitely seen them live. And actually, I got to see them play with Metallica, and it was really early on in their career. I'm not sure how long they were out before that because I had never heard of them, and neither did my friend and a couple other people. Was System of a Down. Um, I heard the name, I saw the guys, the way they're dressed, and the way they're looking. And I thought, okay, this is a metal band, interesting, or a semi-metal band. It wasn't quite metal, but it is metal to a point. You know, it's just one of those. It's a weird sounding band. It's like he's telling a story. A lot of it, and a lot of them are very important stories. A lot of political stories, and I've always been fascinated with them because I've heard the songs, I heard the music, and so basically I heard them live before I ever heard them on the radio or on a CD or anything. So for me, it was a really cool treat to have somebody I felt was going to be huge, you know, because I thought, okay, these guys are going to be awesome. They're huge, big time sounding, and I don't even know who they are. And that was back in 2000, my high stadium when they were actually going from one to the other, and it was a mess, but it was really worth it. One of the best concerts I've been to, big concerts, I should say. There are some smaller ones I've been to that are actually really just as good. Um, well, they're all pretty good. Anyway, a System Down, it says, is undoubtedly the biggest weird band in metal history after developing a cult following in their native Los Angeles with lyrics and kombucha mushroom people mix. Okay, okay, that's interesting. Mixed with messages of mass genocides, sodomy released. Okay. Hmm. Toxicity in 2001 went global. And the acts who got big, but other acts who got big mellowed out. System of a Down never stopped being weird. They made songs about pizza, pizza pies, violent pornography, and while getting banned from Saturday Night Live 20 years later, it still holds up. And they're right. It's pretty phenomenal. You know, it was amazing watching them play live. It was like, actually, I hate to say it, they were way better than even Power Man 5000 was. And I just recently saw Power Man not that long ago with Mudvayne and stuff with Chad and all the guys. And to tell you the truth, they did a far better job this last time in the smaller venue than the big one. It seemed like they were lacking something. I don't know what it was. I thought it was just the same, but I think it was much more than that. It might have been the guitars because I think they have a different guitarist now than what they did back then, but I could be wrong. Um, so it was rather interesting, the whole concert itself with Metallica and Kid Rock and stuff. It's the Summer Sanitarium tour. Okay, next on the list, so I can keep moving on here so you don't get off track too much. Primus in the 1990s. Primus gave MTV viewers a type of weirdness reserved for only those brave enough to watch public access television at 3 in the morning. You can imagine a major label releasing an album called Sailing the Sea of Cheese. In 2023, the Interscope did back, the Interscope did it back in 1981. Guess what? It went platinum. And the Boys went platinum again in 1993 with Pork Soda, providing that people who dig weird music, if you just put it in front of their faces, basically. And yes, and like My Name is Mud is like one of my all-time favorites of theirs. I even introduced them to my son, which I said, you got to check these guys out. These guys have been around for a long time. They're really popular back in the day when I was growing up. Okay, the next one on the list is Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention. Frank Zappa has always been a really good one, and this is one of my coworkers' personal favorites with Frank Zappa and some of his stuff. So here we are talking about something, and he always criticized me about some of the music I've listened to with the metal and the stuff, but Zappa has been really good, and I have liked their stuff. I didn't hear a lot of his stuff, but it's interesting. So I'll have to add that list, and I forgot to add the playlist to the other one, so I'll have to do that one too for last night's stream. So I'll have to do that. But it's rather interesting. Music. He has some pretty interesting titles and other things like this. Uncle Meat, Weasels, Ripped My Flesh, or Ship Arriving Too Late to Save a Drowning Witch. It's a style of comedy rock that's never been replicated because no artist is patient enough to write a 25-minute. Oh, that's interesting. Like Billy the Mountain. Okay. Interesting. I'm not sure what that means. Okay. Anyway, Guar. That's the other one. This one is one of those that are way up there when it comes to bands that are kind of weird, I guess. And they have a unique sense of style, their own sense of style, I guess you could say. Which I have not really heard much of their music. I've heard a few things, but it's a rather interesting concept. I like the masks and the way they look. Guar is another representation of the very best of MTV in the 90s. The legendary metal band is the intergalactic Scumdogs, become just as notable for their stage performance as their hatred of humans, dousing fans on unholy pinnacle fluids while decapitating notable politicians. That's funny. And social figures on stage. They defend shock rock with the appearance of Jerry Springer, Joan Rivers, and were nobly one of the Beavis and Butthead's favorite bands, which I didn't think maybe they did. I thought it was like AC/DC and Metallica, but anyway. There's nothing normal about Gore. 4 decades of their habitation of Earth. That's rather interesting. Anyway, moving on. I don't know what this is. It looks like a rapper with baby metal, but anyway. Baby metal doesn't sound terribly weird in 2023, but in 2013 the band sped up. Metal J-pop schoolgirls with mind-boggling mind-boggling for many. Before Su Metal, Moa Metal, and Yui Metal, I think that's how you say it, were even teenagers. Oh, okay, that's the people in the band. I thought those were types of metal. Baby metal was fused together with idol music with power metal, death metal, hip hop, EDM, reggae, and plenty more, eventually accumulating their back-breaking 2014 album. It's a true example of just crazy enough to work. Baby metal has become a worldwide phenomenon, selling out gigantic Tokyo Dome with influencing countless generation fluid artists. Anyway, genre fluid artists. Okay. I'm reading it wrong sometimes. So I'm bringing it ahead of time. Trying to. Tool is another one. This is the one that I thought was one of the. I never have got to see them perform live, which sucks because I'm the one that I knew for a fact they were going to be huge just because of the way they sounded, where they were. It was just uniquely different. The videos were awesome. I'm sure their live performances are just as good, which I should go do, but I've heard they're really expensive tickets usually. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. We'll see. Oh, this is interesting. With Maynard James Keenan, I hope I said that right. Performing with fake I can't say that. Fake, and upper chest, body chest of women, and full body paint isn't even why Tool is included in this list. Tool's weirdness comes mostly through the band's complexity and how more complex their music became the bigger they grew. As a band, few artists received mainstream airplay whilst playing in odd time signatures, releasing 7-minute songs as singles, or using Middle Eastern spirituality. Okay, God, I'm tongue tied. Um, Using a sonic foundations as sonic geometric as sonic foundations, but Tool were given the green light by MTV and radio stations. See, that sentence doesn't make any sense. One of the true prog metal acts with a legitimate cult fan base. Tool will fill arenas until they choose to be disbanded. That's an interesting comment. Okay, now this one I don't think I've ever heard of. Death Grips, they probably might be a really good band. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to find out. This is apparently started in 2010, so that's probably the reason why I haven't heard it, because I was kind of taking care of my son, doing this and the other, so it's hard to say. Goes online with no act in the world that sounds like them, having infiltrated the underground scene with a caustic blend of hardcore industrial hip hop and electropunk. Death Grips were a cult group of the 2010s. Oh, okay, anchored by one of the best drummers ever sit behind a kit. Death Grips tore through multiple genres of guttural screams, industrial filth. Okay, this sounds like really cool stuff. I'll have to admit, while sitting in a uneffable discography, I can't say the one word. All those rappers you heard screaming at the top of their lungs in the late 2010s. You can thank Death Grip for that. Interesting. That sounds like it might be really worthwhile. So, since I don't know who they are and I need to find out, I guess I'm going to have to find out. So, I might have to put some of their music in a playlist with the others and listen to it. Just like Throbbing Gristle. I've never heard of this band either. The term industrial music came straight from Throbbing Gristle. Okay, this is where industrial metal, I'm assuming industrial metal music came from, is what they mean, but I don't know. This is industrial music. As one of the weirdest sonic acts in history, like giving a computer riddled with virus with a lethal dose of ketamine. I think that's how you pronounce that. Throbbing Gristle birthed itinerary of bands through their music with like Nine Inch Nails, Misery, Ministry, Rammstein, Godflesh, and Fear Factory, and countless others. Just about every act who uses computers to make music owes a debt to Throbbing Gristle. Okay, those immeasurable those immeasurable successes comes through their influence rather than zillions of album sales. So basically, a lot of their, I guess, Throbbing Gristle has been around long before Nine Inch Nails. I'm assuming from the sounds of it, because they kind of use their style of type of music that they play. So I guess I'm gonna have to listen to that one. Here's another one, Hawkwind. Never heard of that one, so we're gonna have to find that one out. This is what they're about. See, let's see. How many people may speak about Hawkwind as one of Lemmy Kilmer's first bands, but few go into depth about how bizarre the British band was. You wouldn't know it from Hawkwind charts performance in the UK as a group who has over 2 dozen top 100 albums, which I didn't know that. Wow, that's a lot. Uh, huh. Spanning over 50 years, a pioneering space rock group, Hawkwind was like a literal aliens of flesh making alien music for psychonauts. Psychonauts. I think I say you say it. Take us to the mothership already. Okay. I think I might have heard this before. I think I might have. I'm not certain. Um, I guess they have Hawkwind, Silver Machine, 1970. Oh wow, they've been around since I was around. Whoa, this is an old band. Mr. Bungle. Okay, these are more rock bands than metal bands, so I apologize. I didn't realize it was going to be, that, but some of it might be. There's nothing. There's nothing Mike Patterson can't do, including turn a high school death metal project into a genderless band of bombastic ballast. How to F do you classify Mr. Bungle? They are a funky jazz metal fusion. Oh, see, this I might like because I like jazz kind of on some stuff and funk type music, kind of like Infectious Grooves. Um, yeah, aka Western thrashy pops, soft pop electro tango. Okay, I can't. Okay, I don't know why it ended with I can't, but anyway, that's a little bit interesting. Okay. Oh yeah, and apparently Injection has their own festival this year. Apparently, I'm sure they've had it before. It's coming up